Welcome to our channel where we delve into the darkest and most mysterious tales from around the world. Tonight we uncover 3 of the most mysterious missing persons cases in history that will send shivers down your spine. These are cases that have baffled investigators for decades, cases that continue to haunt us today. So lock your doors, turn off the lights, and prepare to enter a world of shadows and uncertainty. The truth, as they say, is often stranger than fiction, and sometimes the truth is far more terrifying. Amelia Earhart, a name synonymous with adventure, with pushing boundaries, with soaring beyond limitations. But her story, a story that took flight with such promise, ends in a silence as vast and mysterious as the Pacific Ocean itself. It was 1937 when Earhart embarked on her most daring feat yet, to circumnavigate the globe in her trusty Lockheed Electra 10E aircraft. Imagine the world holding its breath, captivated by her journey as she charted a course through the clouds, a trailblazer in every sense of the word. Her journey was not without its challenges. Mechanical issues, bad weather and fatigue plagued Earhart and her navigator, Fred Noonan. Yet they pressed on, their spirits seemingly as boundless as the sky itself. Then on July 2nd, 1937, while attempting to land on Howland Island, a tiny speck of land in the vast Pacific, all contact was lost. The world listened, waited, hoped against hope for a signal, a message, anything. But there was only silence. The official search, launched by the United States Navy and Coast Guard, was the most extensive air and sea search in history at that time. Ships and planes scoured the area around Howland Island, desperate for any sign of Earhart and Noonan. But the search yielded nothing, and after weeks of desperate searching, the official search was called off. Theories abound, each more tantalizing and terrifying than the last. Did Earhart and Noonan crash into the unforgiving Pacific, swallowed by the waves without a trace? Did they run out of fuel, their plane plummeting into the depths? Or did they manage to land on a different island, stranded and forgotten? Some speculate that they were captured by the Japanese, their disappearance a casualty of the rising tensions in the Pacific. Despite numerous expeditions and countless hours spent poring over evidence, the mystery remains. Amelia Earhart, the daring aviator who dared to touch the sky, vanished into thin air, leaving behind a legacy shrouded in mystery. Christmas Eve, 1945. The air is filled with the scent of pine needles and the promise of joy. In the small town of Fayetteville, West Virginia, the Sodder family gathers for what should be a night of celebration. But fate, it seems, has other plans. For the Sodder family, this Christmas Eve will become a night etched in sorrow, a night that will forever haunt their memories. The Sodder family, George and Jenny Sodder and their 9 children, were living a seemingly idyllic life, but their world was about to be turned upside down. As the story goes, the younger children begged their parents to stay up late and play with toys they had received earlier that day. Their parents agreed, but little did they know that this small act of kindness would be a decision they would question for the rest of their lives. Around midnight, a fire broke out in the Sodder home, engulfing the house in flames. George and Jenny Sodder managed to escape the inferno with 4 of their children, but 5 of their children, 5 precious souls, remained trapped inside the burning building. Frantic, desperate, the parents tried everything to rescue their children. They called for them, they searched for ways back into the inferno, but the fire was too intense. It was a parent's worst nightmare come true. As firefighters arrived, hampered by delays and malfunctioning equipment, the Sodder family clung to hope. Surely their children would be found. But as the flames died down and the smoke cleared, a horrifying truth began to dawn. There were no signs of the 5 missing children. No bodies were found in the ashes. It was as if they had simply vanished into thin air. The official investigation concluded that the fire was caused by faulty wiring and that the missing children had perished in the fire. But the Sodder family refused to believe it. They knew in their hearts that their children were still out there somewhere. They pointed to inconsistencies in the official story, to strange occurrences before and after the fire. Why were the phone lines cut? Why did witnesses report seeing the children in a car after the fire? And who was the mysterious man who had warned George Sodder about the fire weeks earlier? The Sodders began their own investigation, driven by grief and a burning desire for answers. They uncovered more questions than answers. The more they dug, the more convinced they became that something sinister was at play. Years turned into decades, and the Sodder family never gave up hope. They followed every lead, every whisper, every fleeting possibility. They even erected a billboard with pictures of their missing children, a constant reminder of the mystery that haunted them. The case of the missing Sodder children became a media sensation, attracting the attention of the nation. Theories abounded. Some speculated that the children had been kidnapped, perhaps by someone who held a grudge against the family. Despite the passage of time, the case remains unsolved. Chapter 3. The Case of the Missing Beaumont Children. Glenelg Beach, Australia, a popular summer destination, a place where families gather to enjoy the sun, the sand, and the surf. But on January 26, 1966, this idyllic setting became the backdrop for a mystery that would grip the nation and leave an enduring chill in its wake: the disappearance of the Beaumont children. Jane, Anna, and Grant Beaumont, three young siblings, were enjoying a carefree day at the beach. Their parents, Jim and Nancy Beaumont, watched as their children played in the shallows. Their laughter carried on the ocean breeze. It was a scene of pure, unadulterated joy. But in a horrifying instant, that joy would vanish, leaving behind an emptiness that would never be filled. When the children failed to return from a nearby kiosk, their parents knew something was terribly wrong. Fear turned to panic as they searched the crowded beach, their calls of their children's names lost in the cacophony of summer sounds. The police were called, and a massive search ensued, but the children had vanished without a trace. Witnesses came forward, each offering a piece of the puzzle, but none painting a complete picture. A tall, thin man with a tan and blonde hair was seen playing with the children on the beach. A woman reported seeing the children walking with a man matching the same description shortly after they were last seen by their parents. The descriptions were consistent, but the man's identity remained a mystery. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and still there was no sign of the Beaumont children. The case captured the attention of the entire nation and beyond. Theories swirled, each more unsettling than the last. Had the children been abducted by a stranger? Were they the victims of a random act of violence? Or was there something more sinister at play? The investigation took detectives down a rabbit hole of dead ends and false leads. Psychics offered their insights, but their visions only deepened the mystery. Every lead, every tip, every glimmer of hope ultimately faded, leaving the Beaumont family and a nation in a state of agonizing limbo. Despite the passage of time, the case remains open. The mystery of what happened to Jane, Anna, and Grant Beaumont continues to haunt Australia. These cases remain unsolved, leaving us with more questions than answers. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more chilling stories. Your support helps us keep bringing these tales of mystery and intrigue to life. And be sure to let us know in the comments which case you found most unsettling and what theories you might have. Until next time, stay safe and keep your eyes open.